ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and the LPGA present final round coverage of the Office Depot. Now we've got the sun shining brightly here in South Florida. Temperature's supposed to get up in the mid-70s by later this afternoon as winds out of the east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Our forecast for partly cloudy skies. In this final round of the 72-hole event, the Office Depot. First two rounds were pro-ams, played on both the blue and the red courses, but on the weekend, it's been the 80 players at the Blue Monster. As we move out to 14, 387-yard par 4, Emily Klein.
This from 112 yards. Very hard to hold this, Roger. It's downwind, hole location on the front of the green, and that's an excellent golf shot.
Mary Bryan there with that group as Emily Klein 2 over on her round today, 1 under for the tournament, and 5 off the lead as 8th-year pro Karen Weiss will be next to play.
And she has really belted a tee shot. She is only 87 to the hole on this par 4 that you says that measures 387 yards. And it is downwind, but she hits the ball long, carries it a long ways. And the beauty of where she put her tee shot is in the right side of the fairway, which gives her a good angle into this hole location. The wind kind of crossing her a little bit left to right, but downwind as well. And this will just be a sand wedge.
I like that.
Again, that whole location only 9 paces on, so you've got to put a lot of spin on the ball, and Karen's very capable of that.
Karen didn't play the first event in Orlando, missed the cut last week in Naples. Best ever finish on the LPGA Tour, tie for 3rd in Tucson back in '96.
Stay there. It's going to have to bite. Sit there. Oh.
And it does. Sits right there. So a couple of good shots in there by Emily Klein and Karen Weiss. Karen from Minneapolis, Minnesota, attended the University of Minnesota, was an all Big Ten golfer there. As we move to 12, and you look at Grace Park, who opened up with a 70 on Thursday, 69 Friday, and then a 70 yesterday. And as we look at the leaderboard, Grace, the only player who's been under par in every round, and very windy conditions. Judy Rankin on Thursday and early on Friday also.
Just very consistent golf from Grace Park, and she has the kind of golf game I think that can handle a big and difficult golf course. She's a long driver. She's a very high ball iron striker, and when she's on, a good putter. That would be her Achilles heel when she's really having trouble, though.
This for birdie at the par 5 12th, and that comes up well short. So she'll have a little work left for her par to maintain her 1-shot lead. And hi, everybody. Along with Judy Rankin, I'm Roger Twibell. We welcome you here to our final round coverage of this 3rd event of the 2001 LPGA campaign. 72-hole event, Pro-Am the first 2 days, Judy, but playing the weekend here at a very formidable golf course, the Blue Monster at Doral. And Grace Park, one of the strongest players on the LPGA Tour, has the lead right now.
Well, that's right. She came out of Arizona State University. She was a wonderful college player, but probably one of the best amateurs in the country over the last 3 or 4 years. She was a U.S. amateur champion. She now has been a professional for about a year and a half, hasn't quite had the start that everyone thought she might have, but still has already been a winner on the LPGA Tour.
And she has some good thoughts about this golf course, has won a couple of junior tournaments here. And then lurking just a couple of shots back and turning in a nice 369 yesterday, Kari Webb.
Kari Webb is lurking, and I want to tell you that's a name that when it comes up on the leaderboard, other players hear the footsteps. She hasn't gotten off to a great start today, not a big barrage of birdies, but is still positioned to win this golf tournament.
We're looking at Kari right now, and she has a birdie opportunity to get to 5 under, this at the 12th.
Roger, that's been the problem right there. Just has not converted the putts. Ball striking pretty good.
And that 12th hole, 563 yards. As we'll move ahead, this is Vicky Getz Ackerman. This putt is for bogey.
Missed this green long and left, a very difficult position.
go to Kelly Booth at 16. This is for birdie. Kelly even on her round today, 2 under for the tournament. 16, a 350-yard par 4, and nicely done there. So Kelly Booth gets to 3 under. The other player at the top of the leaderboard, Judy, is Karen Weiss. I mentioned 8 years out on the LPGA Tour, has never won. As a matter of fact, in 165 starts, only 9 top 10 finishes. So this is rather unexpected to be in this sort of situation on this difficult a golf course.
Right. Well, she and Vicky Getz-Ackerman both on the LPGA Tour since 1994. Neither has won. As you said, the best finish for Karen is a tie for 3rd. This is a very difficult golf course and not a place where you would think a player without a lot of really good winning experience would suddenly shine and be at the top.
Uncharted waters, and you never know what to expect, but she might end up being very comfortable in that situation. You never know because you've never been there before. But you'd mentioned the tough golf course, the Blue Monster here at Doral, of course, home to the PGA Tour for many years. And the wind's starting to kick up here this afternoon, and that's going to make, as we look at 18 right here, might make some problems coming in on the last few holes.
You bet it will. This golf course playing just under 6,400 yards for the women, and what a wonderful test of golf. It is in beautiful condition, and the wind plays with your mind a little bit. It's going to make it a hard afternoon.
We'll go back to 12 as Grace Park taking a look at this par putt. Bill Kratzert, what she got left?
Well, Roger, about 3.5 feet, you know, but I guess the difficulty that you factor into this putt is that she is putting back into the grain a little bit, so certainly to keep the ball on line, you need to hit a nice solid putt.
So Grace Park with her par to remain at 6 under and a 1-shot lead over Karen Weiss. And Michelle Redmond. It's a little bit earlier for her par. So Michelle's had a bit of a struggle to start with this day, and that'll drop her back to 3 under as we look now at Jennifer Rosales. This for birdie. And moving quickly to be able to pick that up out of the hole. So Jennifer Rosales now has gotten herself to 4 under. At the 14th, Emily Klein, this putt for birdie.
Just straight up the hill. Shouldn't be much movement to this. She's had 3 putts today, so she'd love to make this one get back on the birdie streak.
And that'll get Emily to 2 under for the tournament, 1 over on her round today. And so a number of players lurking within 4 shots of the lead of Grace Park. 12 players now within 4. This will move to 13, 177-yard par 3.
And Roger, with the whole location on the left-hand side, the wind coming on the player's left, I would certainly think that as high as Grace hits the ball, she would really not want to take too much of a chance here being in the lead. Maybe just starting at the flag, maybe slightly right, but certainly the wind will drift it to the right. Needs to get out.
And it misses the green, catches that Bermuda rough behind the green at 13.
Rough around the green's pretty punishing this week, but somewhat unpredictable. You can catch a pretty good lie, or you can get one that is very, very difficult. That one doesn't look too bad.
Grace Park, Michelle Redmond, and Kari Webb. The final group.
Billy, I would have to think, I do think that any wind at your back and from the left is the most difficult wind to make a good swing in.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Judy. And really the only way you're going to get a ball close to this hole is if you turn it back into the wind just a little bit, kind of, to where it's kind of fighting a little bit, but then you take the chance of it getting beat down by the wind. But you're absolutely right. Anything out of the left a little down, hard to make yourself make a good aggressive swing. Kari going with a 6-iron.
Sit. Sit.
This has been a firm green all week.
That ball released also.
And just rolls onto the collar of the rough. So we've heard from Bill Kratzert, who knows this course so well, having played on the PGA Tour for probably, what, 20 or so times in his career. He's with Michelle Redmond, Grace Park, and Kari Webb, and then Mary Bryan, along with Emily Klein, Barb Mucha, and Karen Weiss. And Judy, the LPGA played her years ago, didn't they?
A tournament was on the red course. In fact, it was the last place Marlene Hagee won an official LPGA event. We played a 9-player event right here on the Blue Monster called the Triple Crown. And when the mixed team was reinstituted after being played in the 60s, I played a couple of years here at the Blue course.
Looking at the tee at 15, 143-yard par 3.
Roger, the whole location today very accessible on the left side of the green. The only place the players can really see the surface of the green. It's a very long green, very shallow green, and Karen Weiss, very solid ball striker. And the wind here, Judy, is just what you talked about. It's at the player's back. It's swirling around a lot. It's hard to make that swing. It looks like she's going to aim it down the left side, let the wind drift it back towards the right.
What a player has to do is trust that the wind will bring the ball back to the right.
And that is moving over to the right. Looks good from the tee.
Beautiful shot.
So Karen Weiss, who opened with a 76, there was no cut in this event, came back with a 69 on Friday and then a 67 yesterday, the low round of the tournament. Earlier today, Michelle Estel at this par 3, 143 yards. And we'll just let your imagination wander a little bit here.
Wonder so that you can imagine what it would be like to take the ball out of the hole.
Well, and let me tell you what, this is the second week in a row that Michelle Estel has made a hole-in-one. She did it in Naples last week, and so in the 2001 season, 3 LPGA events, 2 holes in 1.
Reason to dance.
Yes, and to keep dancing. Dance the night away. ESPN's coverage of the LPGA Tour's The Office Depot is brought to you by Office Depot. Nobody in the world sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And by Century 21 Fine Homes and Estates, where moving has its rewards.
Hi, I'm Bruce Nelson, CEO of Office Depot. On behalf of our 48,000 worldwide employees, I'd like to welcome you to the final round of the Office Depot. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the hundreds of volunteers who've devoted their time, effort, and energy to make this tournament a success. It should be an exciting finish, so tune in as we enjoy watching the LPGA stars conquer the famous Blue Monster in the Office Depot.
And there's a good look at the clubhouse here at Doral, and the scores alphabetically at the bottom of your screen, brought to you by Ritz. Final round of the Office Depot, and Grace Park, this at the 13th, the par 3, her second.
Nifty little pitch shot here, Raj. As Judy said, had a pretty good lie, so she could get a lot of club on the ball.
We go to 16. Jennifer Rosales, her second at this 350-yard par 4. Jennifer at 4 under for the tournament, 2 under on her round today.
This is a short par 4. Green is elevated.
Jennifer, a 5-time Philippine Ladies Amateur Open champion. And she's one of those real bright young stars on the LPGA Tour as we move to Kari Webb, getting set for her second at the par 3.
And just over the back edge, electing to putt even though the ball is just barely into the rough. I think this is a good play and really a high percentage shot. But you know, as you look at the green, Roger and Judy, about the last third of the green, towards the back, the grain is all running away from the players, and that's what's causing the difficulty with these players trying to hold this green back in this area. Really a slow putt.
Corey Webb second last week in Naples. 3 of her 4 rounds were in the 60s. Just kind of catching her stride here at the beginning of the season.
It's kind of interesting. We're 3 weeks into the year, and Kari and Tiger haven't won a golf tournament yet.
Just hang on.
Yeah. And the par putt for Grace Park. And she remains at 6 under at a 1-shot lead. As we go to Meg Mallon at 14, 387-yard par 4.
Meg plays some Florida golf now. Her home is just up the road 40 miles or so.
Ocean Ridge, Florida is where Meg now resides. 1 over on her round today, 2 under for the tournament, coming off a great 2000 season. A couple of victories for her, including the final de Maurier, as Laura Diaz, her 3rd shot at 14.
Really?
Laura 2 over on today's round, had a 369 yesterday. So we move to 15, and Karen Weiss.
Just a terrific birdie opportunity here. This is about a 9-footer, just gently up the hill. Almost looks like it should break to the left, but I think the grain will keep it straight. Karen, very feisty competitor, Roger. I mean, she's comfortable in this position, even though she has not been here very often.
It's for share of the lead at 6 under.
Well, it's 2 great opportunities she's missed the last 2 holes.
We go to 14. Grace Park's tee shot at this 387-yard par 4.
Well, I thought she hit a good one yesterday, Roger, but this was longer, straighter. This is better.
Well, if you take a look at 14, par 4, 387 yards, it takes a little turn to the left, a little dogleg left, out there where the fairway bunkers are, both right and left. If you can position the ball a little right of center, it's a better shot into this green. The hole is located in the front right portion of the green today, so we shouldn't see much action with the green side bunkers.
Kari Webb.
It's going a little to the right, maybe needs to get down to avoid the rough. Yeah, got a nice little roll to the left.
Ground hook's valuable now and then.
And we'll go to 16, and Jennifer Rosales, who in a rookie year won over 100,000 last year. Terrific college career at the University of Southern California, won the NCAA individual championship as a freshman, and is having herself a good week here at Doral, where Grace Park finds herself atop the leaderboard by 1 in the final round. Now at 15, Diaz, her tee shot at the par 3, 143 yards.
Well, not completely pleased with it, but a pretty good shot and a birdie opportunity for Laura Diaz, newly married Laura Diaz. She was Laura Philo. I told her tan was so deep and golden she must have been practicing a lot for this season. She said no, it's a leftover from the honeymoon in the Caribbean.
Ah, very nice. Married this past November. As we move over to Kari Webb right now. Kari 2 shots off the lead of Grace Park and getting set for her second at 14.
Even with the offer, 6 seconds. Yeah, fractional.
123 yards to the hole. Actually, the kind of the same type shot that she had back there, with the wind being behind her, and move left to right. Hole just 9 paces on, so she can spin it. I think she's got plenty of room to get it close. You know, as we've said, Roger and Judy, she's really struck the ball quite well this whole week.
Well, you know, Billy, I was just going to mention she had 15 greens yesterday and really hit some beautiful shots coming in.
Yes, I mean, you know, in talking with her yesterday and a little bit today, you know, she's just frustrated with the putting. Needs to go. Needs to go. There you go.
Look at this! Look at this! Nearly in the hole for a 2.
Boy,
that will fix your putting.
Yeah, that just carried just enough over that front edge. Boy, what a good shot.
What a beauty by Kari Webb. Well, that will get her to 5 under. Now, Billy makes a good point. Her putting over the last 2 rounds, Judy, 60 putts, 30 each day.
Well, an average of 30 putts or above will not win you a lot of money in professional golf, and she knows that.
Grace Park.
Well, just a huge drive, just 104 yards to the flag for Grace. Sand wedge. I think probably the most difficult thing with the way that the wind is blowing and how hard it's blowing is distance control. Short. Actually, that's a little fortunate that that ball pitched forward.
So Grace Park misses the green here with a wedge in her hand. As we'll go to 17, 373-yard par 4, and Jennifer Rosales.
Bunkers right and left off the tee. Fairway is fairly generous.
So born in Manila, resides in Monterey Park, California. Best finish last year, a tie for 12th at the U.S. Women's Open. And another second-year player. Grace Park has the lead by 1 in the final round of the Office Depot. Our leader, Grace Park, her 3rd at the par 4.
That's a little better than 30 feet from just off the front edge of the green.
And just a moment ago, Karen Weiss, her 2nd at 16.
After that very long tee shot, this just exactly 100 yards dead into the wind, and that a strong sand wedge and nice looking shot.
So Karen Weiss, whose best ever finish was a tie for 3rd in Tucson back in 1996, finds herself in some uncharted waters here. Just 1 shot off the lead of Grace Park, but holding up awfully well as we look at Laura Diaz, getting set now for her birdie opportunity. This at the par 3 15th. Laura shown us some good golf this week. Opened with a 67 on Thursday. 74 Friday, came back with a 69 yesterday.
Putt that will die off to her right here. She has a very nice putting stroke, nice and fluid, doesn't get too short and quick.
Just 25 putts in that round of 3 under 69 yesterday. Gave it a real good chance. Michelle Redmond at 14, urging her birdie putt along. Michelle settled for her par. 2 over on today's final round and 3 under for the tournament. And coming up on ESPN Classic, the Emmy Award-winning Sports Century continues, running 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday at 8 Eastern Time. And on Monday, Jim McMahon, quarterback, Chicago Bears fame. That'll just kick off a week that'll feature Curt Flood, Pete Rose, among others. As we go to 17, and Jennifer Rosales, her 2nd at the par 4.
Very good shot. Not a real big girl, a slight build, and very wiry and strong.
Missed the cut last week in Naples. Finished 51st in the opening event of the year at Grand Cypress. But a young player with a bright future as we go to Karen Weiss for birdie and a share of the lead.
Boy, Roger, she has really had some opportunities in the last 3 holes. That was only about 15 feet. She has made 5 birdies today with 1 bogey. Very strong with her irons. I think one of the sharper, crisper iron players out here.
Very often what it takes for a player like Karen Weiss is to get into contention a few times where you might learn that you are up to the task, and you sneak in and win one, and then pretty soon you're considered one of the better players. But you have got to get yourself into contention, as she's done this week.
And Judy, she's working on routine, which I think is a key when you're under this kind of pressure.
Now Kari Webb just to tap in for her birdie. And so Kari Webb
Shot off the lead. Round.
Kari Webb coming off the birdie at 14, this at the par 3 15th.
Roger, pretty much just a stock 8-iron for Kari.
Well, the two-time defending champion at the Office Depot, who led throughout last year when this event was played up in West Palm Beach, and was at least tied for the lead after every round in '99, looking for the three-peat. And Century 21 will award $5,000 to the LPGA Tour member who makes the largest monthly advance up the LPGA's official money list during the months of March through November. Due to the significant purses in the 4 majors falling during this time, the respective months were chosen to honor the award recipients. The player has made the largest monthly advance up the LPGA's official money list during the months March through November will win an additional cash award of $20,000, and Century 21 will donate $15,000 to a designated charity. Our leader, Grace Park, at the par 3 15th.
Same club, 8-iron. As Mary said, it's a very wide and shallow green, but today's hole location right in the center, very accessible for these players. That ball carried a little bit further than I thought. It looked better than that.
It is at this point an advantage to Kari Webb to be playing with Grace Park. We'll see how it affects Grace Park. Now Jennifer Rosales, this is for birdie at 17. Left to right breaker.
Yeah, so Jennifer Rosales now within 1 of the lead. So the youngsters, Grace Park, Jennifer Rosales, making noise here on Sunday. Park already with a victory last year. Rosales looking for her first LPGA Tour victory.
A look at Jackie Gallagher-Smith. This is her second shot at the par 4 18th.
Jackie 1 under on her round today, 3 under for the tournament. And Judy played a little too safe there. Find that tough Bermuda rough on the right-hand side. That's a difficult shot that she'll be faced with. We're in the final round of the Office Depot. $123,750 to the winner. Grace Park's got a 1-shot lead. Grace Park by 1 over Jennifer Rosales, looking for her first victory. Karen Weiss also looking for her first win. And Kari Webb going after her 24th victory. We come to the final few holes. Let's go to the announcers.
The par 3 15th hole is playing 143 yards. And with today's hole location in the center of the green, very easy. Players do not have to worry about the bunker in front, nor the bunker in back. So we should see a lot of shots close to the hole. Mary?
As the players coming down the stretch to win the Office Depot today, one of the holes they're going to look at for making birdie will be the 16th, 350 yards. Some players hit driver off the tee, some 3-wood. The key here is the second shot. The hole location's in the middle of the green, very accessible, and I think we'll see birdies at 16. Let's go to Judy.
At 373 yards, it's a little surprising that the par 4 17th has played as the 4th hardest hole on the golf course. This right-hand fairway bunker, the last of a series of bunkers, is definitely in play off the tee though, but a bigger factor is that this is a very big green, 53 paces from the front to the back. The hole has been located in the back of the green all week. Today it's nearer to the front and birdie opportunities should be plentiful. Roger?
Yeah, there's a term in real estate. It's about location. Everything is location, location, location. Well, in golf, everything's about the hole location. And the Sunday hole location here at the Blue Monster Doral, back and left. And this presents two very scary possibilities for the players. If they play it too safe, they can find this bunker out to the right and that heavy Bermuda rough, which then would produce a third shot, which is straight down the hill toward this flagstick with the water looming behind. Now, if you've got to get real aggressive, you need to make birdie, and you happen to short-side it here, well, look at the shaved edge, the water down there. Two very difficult possibilities here. That's why, through the years, this has been one of the most exciting holes to finish on in professional golf. Well, the Blue Monster, and it's known by this 18th, and we've seen a lot of exciting things, Judy. We've also seen a few tragedies through the years. Look at this, rated the hardest hole on the PGA Tour. And yeah, get lucky. Good luck to you. Well, we'll see what happens. The wind has kicked up just a little bit as we move to Grace Park for birdie at 15.
Roger, this putt should move a little to her right simply because of the grain working that way.
Grace 1 under on her round today. Rounds of 70, 69, 70. Very solid, consistent play for this second-year player. College golf at Arizona State. Now, third shot here at the 18th for Jackie Gallagher-Smith.
Well, even without a great lie, the hole location has given her a fair amount of green to work with. Good shot, tough little putt though.
Jackie Gallagher-Smith, 3 back, 1 under on her round today. Have that for her par as we go to Kari Webb now, and this birdie opportunity to get to 600 and a share of the lead.
And Roger, she just got a good look at Redmond's putt just prior to her getting up and taking her opportunity for birdie, but you know, it's going to move just a little left. I think the reason that she's missed so many putts is her pace has just been a little off.
Good
So the par for Kari Webb. 7-time winner last year, dominated women's golf, 1.8 million in earnings. As we move to Kelly Booth at 18. This putt for par. Kelly, another second-year player, Judy.
Another amateur who played a lot of her amateur golf along with Grace Park. Good finish in the first tournament of the year, tied for 10th, and very good finish this week for Kelly. She came to the 18th hole, 1 under for the day.
So we go to Karen Weiss, 1 off the lead.
And this 127 yards at 9-iron, left to right wind. Very little target with that hole location in the front of the green. Big, huge bunker in front, and that's moving right. Wind really got a hold of that and knocked it down. You could see that strong wind blow it down.
17, 373-yard par 4, and as Judy mentioned, that front hole location. It's been back the last few days at 17.
Well, amongst other things, it makes the whole place so much longer because this green, if you step it, is 53 steps from the front to the back.
Jackie Gallagher-Smith for par. Resides just north of here in Jupiter, Florida. Of course, from a golfing family, brothers Jeff and Jim, PGA Tour players. Dad was a pro.
Had a pretty good run going earlier here today, but a couple of bogeys on the back 9 kind of stalled her run at winning the tournament.
Kari Webb's tee shot now at 16.
Well, going with the wind, working a little right. That hangs in the fairway, and that's going to be a good angle to the flag.
It's a 1 under 71 for Jackie Gallagher-Smith with that par putt at 18. So good tournament for her.
Now, Grace, I think she has to take it just a little bit further left simply because of her trajectory being so much higher than Kari's. Again, going with the fairway metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
catch the fairway bunker, it appeared down there. Well, this event here in Doral, the last for just a while. We'll rejoin you out in Phoenix at Moon Valley for the Standard Register Ping. Our coverage begins March 15th, and the State Farm Series continues here on ESPN and ESPN2. Charlotta Sorensen, a very emotional victory last year. Matter of fact, her sister won in Tucson, so they're defending the state of Arizona.
That's right. They owned the state of Arizona last year.
So our coverage, March 15th, out at Moon Valley in Phoenix. As we go to 17 and Karen Weiss.
You know, Judy, I was talking about how far Karen Weiss hits the ball. I walked off her tee shot, which she hit with a 3-wood, 252 yards, and it was pretty much kind of into a quartering wind. So a lot of power for this small young woman.
She averaged 237 yards on the tour last year in the 2000 season, but that is not always reflective of how a person drives the ball.
This birdie putt is about a 20-footer uphill, green going left to right. I think the break slightly left to right.
It comes up well short.
Yeah, Roger really jumped on her when she first hit it, jumped up in the air almost in like an inch.
College golfer at Minnesota, all Big Ten, 4-time Minnesota amateur champion.
Finally has moved to Florida though, Rod. She finally decided to get out of Minnesota, has lived there all these years and bought a place over in Bonita Springs and said she has really enjoyed being in Florida in the winter. And I said, well, I guess so after being in Minnesota.
Maybe that's why she's hitting the ball a lot farther this year. Vicky gets Ackerman. Currently 2 over on a round today, 2 under for the tournament. This at 16.
Second place finish for Vicky last year in Corning, New York, where she eventually lost a playoff to Betsy King, who thought her winning days might be slowing, but they did not in last year's season.
Long birdie putt here for Vicky. Rounds of 68, 72, and 70. And last year, 20 events, 3 top 10s at tie for second. Lost a 2-hole playoff to Betsy King at the Corning Classic.
Well, she has really come on since last summer. She has been playing consistently well, and she is doing what I said earlier. She is managing to get herself into contention more often.
At 18, second shot for Julie Inkster. 3 over on her round today, 1 over for the tournament. Fired a 68 yesterday. Looked like she got herself back into this. And that's one of the problems with playing it a little too safe at 18. Julie opened up last week, took the first week off, played in Naples last week, and of course coming off a terrific 2000 season with 3 victories, 13 top 10s, and of course was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame.
That number for Julie Inkster made even larger by the fact that she only played 19 events.
Right. Now Jennifer Rosales, her second shot here at 18. She's at 5 under, 1 off the lead of Grace Park.
She has had a very good week driving the ball. She is reasonably long anyway, averages over 250 yards, but has been very accurate this week. As Roger said earlier, her best finish last year, a tie for 12th in 23 events. This is a very big shot for Jennifer Rosales.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody liked it. Well, and as so often happens with a young player, when that one very big shot comes along, you get a little pumped up and you really don't know how to pull the right club or how to pull back and hit the ball a comfortable distance. That's going to be a tough up and down.
Will be. Bermuda Rough has been a battle all week as we go to 17 and Emily Klein's birdie putt.
And what a shot she hit in here right out of the fairway bunker, stood right up there and just nailed it straight at the pin. The wind didn't move it at all.
Moved right ahead of that putt and came out of it costly.
Now earlier, Meg Mallon, this putt for birdie at 16. Meg went over the million mark in earnings last year for the first time, and also over $5 million in career earnings. As we look at Karen Weiss for par at 17. So Karen Weiss, one shot back of Grace Park, will go to 18. Trying to keep her emotions in check and see if maybe she can make something happen at that difficult par 4. Kari Webb.
Roger, 113 yards, right back into the wind. Flag stick, the flag is not blowing. Pretty good amount of wind out here, and she's going to have to watch the height of it, but this is a shot that she can throw all the way to the hole.
She works and works on her wedge play. Very smart because she's a long driver, and she gets results like that.
16's a 350-yard par 4, and Kari Webb will have that birdie putt to get to 6 under and a share of the lead with Grace Park here in the final round of the Office Depot. Michelle Redmond, who is 2 over on her round today, 3 under for the tournament.
And 4 yards closer to the hole, Raj. And, you know, she's kind of struggled today. She's hit some good shots, but I think, you know, she's made some mental mistakes.
Tied for 5th last week in Naples. Got a couple of victories. Won last year. Also made the Solheim Cup team. 67 yesterday for Michelle Redmond. Equaled the low round of the tournament, 5 under 67. Scoring's been difficult here at the Blue Monster.
And she told us yesterday this was her first week to see this golf course, and just trying to become familiar with it now come the weekend.
Bill, what about the wind out there right now?
Well, it's picked up a little bit, Roger, but I've seen it blow a lot harder here. Actually, this is a pretty good day for scoring here at Doral.
Be right. Be right.
I think it is.
Oh, that's terrific. So Michelle Redmond looks as though she'll move to within 2 as Jennifer Rosales plays her 3rd at 18.
Wonderful touch.
Okay, good shot.
When you need a little support, it would be great to play alongside Julie Inkster.
Grace Park.
This from 91 yards. Actually, the fairway bunkers here at Doral, very firm, very compacted. I think they're very easy to play out of. Needs to get out. And I don't know if that buried or not.
No, it didn't, Bill.
So it shouldn't be too difficult a bunker shot. Plenty of green to work with.
So Grace Park having a few problems. For the moment, she has a 1-shot lead. And welcome back to the final round of the Office Depot here on ESPN. We've got a great finish coming up for you. Grace Park, a 1-shot lead over Jennifer Rosales, Karen Weiss, Kari Webb. As you look at the tee at 18, 385-yard par 4, and Karen Weiss.
The only way to get it in this fairway is played over the water in the bunker, and that is going well right.
Well, that one started right, didn't it, Mary?
Well, it started down the middle actually almost, Judy, but the wind is just so strong. I mean, this is why it's the hardest hole in the PGA Tour. You come around and you get out in this tee and it's blowing like crazy.
3rd shot for Grace Park at 16.
Roger, this is the kind of shot that, you know, in your practice round, you're going to get this up and in 4 out of 5 times. Nice job by Grace with that one.
A solid short game, Judy, for this young lady.
Well, that same tempo that she has in her full swing kind of makes its way to her short shots, bunker play and wedge play, and really pays off.
Kari Webb, this putt for birdie and this to get a share of the lead at 6 under.
Judy, I think what Kari needs to do is she just needs to take a little more of a direct line, put a little speed behind it. She's trying to diet in on these Bermuda greens, and it's just not working this week.
Well, she looked like she tried to do just that right there.
Boy, she had the opportunities, though.
Runner-up last week in Naples to Sophie Gustafsson.
nothing for granted.
Take nothing for granted. I will second that. As we go to the 18th, and young Jennifer Rosales, 3 under on a round today. 1 shot off the lead and facing a par putt here at 18. Started playing golf at the age of 12. So she hasn't been at it for that long a time.
Yeah, just 22 years old. This is a very tough little putt. It's going to try to work its way to her right. It is a little slow. She has got to hit it with a little authority.
Oh goodness. So after making a birdie here yesterday, Rosales with the bogey.
And you know, she hit a very good second shot, but just kind of overpowered it.
And Grace Park with a nice save for par at 16, so she remains at 6 under and a 1-shot lead over Karen Weiss and Kari Webb. Michelle Redmond made her birdie to move to 4 under and 2 off the lead. So Jennifer Rosales with that bogey at 18 drops back to 4 under, but a final round of 2 under 70, and Judy, very good playing. 70, 72, 70, and 70 here at the Blue Monster at Doral.
Well, she's going to leave unhappy because of the way she played the final hole, making a bogey after really driving the ball well and hitting a solid iron shot. But all in all, a very good week for Jennifer Rosales, and regardless what anyone does coming in now, going to be the best finish of her professional career.
Wendy Doolan 3 under 69, Gail Graham with a 4 under 68, the low round here on Sunday at Doral. Some of the other scores. Sophie Gustafson, the winner last week. There's Gail Graham, that 4 under 68. Cindy Fig Courier, 3 under 69. I think she had a hole-in-one today too, didn't she, Judy?
Rumor is that on the front 9, an ace for Cindy.
And of course, Michelle Estel. Doesn't get any better than that.
I just want to
hole-in-one last week, hole-in-one this week.
Catch Michelle Estel in a Pro-Am and just let her handle the par 3s. Dorothy Dellison at the bottom of that page of the leaderboard, last year's Rookie of the Year, just edged out Grace Park. Dorothy had a wonderful year, won last year, but Grace Park was idle for a couple of months in the summer.
A rib injury for Grace, but healthy now as we go to the tee at 17, 373-yard par 4, and Michelle Redmond.
Right into the wind.
Hang on. Come on.
Just drifting a little to the right. It's going to catch the bunker.
Boy, the bunker maintained beautifully, though, that a ball
Isn't
can
it?
sit that nicely.
You know, Judy, in all the years that I played here, I don't really think that I had a bad lie in the fairway bunker. The only hazard was that, you know, sometimes they were so compacted and so good that they'd run up against the lip.
Now Kari Webb.
Well, there's a grouping of palm trees down on the left-hand side, just past the bunkers that dot the left-hand side of the fairway. Boy, if you could just take it right at that and just kind of turn it from right to left, hold it against the wind just a little bit. That 2's heading right. Also in the bunker.
You could throw a blanket over the tee shots of Kari Webb and Michelle Redmond. We look at 17, Judy.
373 yards. It turns just to the right out there at the fairway bunkers, and that fairway bunker at the right, the third bunker, is the bunker that those 2 tee shots have found. 5 bunkers green side, the hole in the front right location today, and all of these players are looking for a birdie putt.
Grace Park on the tee at 17, our leader by 1.
Hit a good drive here yesterday. Took it up the left-hand side. Let it work back a little to the right.
Very wide stance, quiet lower body.
And leaning.
Well, this 2 heading towards that bunker, I don't know if it's got enough to carry it. Looked like it did, Roger.
Yeah, it did, but it looks like it's dropped down in that Bermuda rough, Bill.
She may be sorry. We cannot even see the ball in the rough. She's happy about carrying that bunker. She won't be happy when she finds the golf ball.
Well, a few moments ago at 18, Karen Weiss, her second.
Pretty good lie in the rough, 184, but playing more like 195 into the wind. Got lucky, got past the coconut palms and the banyan trees, and this looks like a good shot. May not be close to the hole, but anything on the green, Judy, is good from where she was.
That is a wonderful shot.
Solid result for Karen Weiss, who's one shot back as we move to Vicky Getz Ackerman. This for birdie at the 17th. Two-time U.S. Women's Amateur Champion. The low amateur in 3 U.S. Women's Opens. 2 under for this tournament, but 2 over in this final round. Alphabetically, the scores at the bottom of your screen, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Pick out your favorite player. 72-hole event this week on the LPGA Tour. No cut, 80 players in the field. Vicky Getz Ackerman. This for par. And around and in. Doesn't look like the most comfortable putting stances, but obviously works for her. And a little smile on her face as we move to 18. And Emily Klein, this for birdie.
Actually, Roger, this is for par.
Okay.
She had to chip out. She had a bad drive, went right, pitched out in the fairway, and hit to this point. So this is about a 35, almost 40-footer for her par, and it's going to break very strongly from right to left. And I know she'd love to make it, particularly after 3-putting the screen yesterday.
Well, Mary, as we saw the tee shot of Karen Weiss and then what you mentioned about Emily Klein, how's the wind affecting the tee shots at 18?
Well, it's really, really strong from left to right, and you're going to have dig deep and have, as they say, a lot of guts to take it out over the water in the bunker and let the wind just blow back to the center of the fairway, or else work it hard from right to left. It's just very windy hole.
We'll move to 17. Michelle Redmond, her second at the par 4.
Very clean lie in the bunker, just 126 yards. She caught the lip coming out. That's what I was trying to convey to you, Judy.
Sure.
You know, you hit a drive that gets up against some of these lips, and just very difficult.
We'll move back to 18. Birdie putt for Karen Weiss. This would get her to 6 under and a share of the lead.
And she stood here and stared at the leaderboard for a long time. This 35-footer, very, very quick down the hill and will break to her left. She's left herself a little work here, Roger. A good 3.5 feet.
We'll move to Kari Webb at 17.
125 yards, and Roger, you and Judy absolutely right. The better of the two deals Kari Webb has, because she's got a clean lie in that bunker. And maybe caught the left fringe.
Yeah, we had a good shot there, the face of the bunker that Michelle Redmond caught on her way out.
That's pretty steep, Judy, and you know, hitting back into the wind, you know, you're always guarding against that ball ballooning and coming up short into one of those greenside bunkers.
All right, Billy, what about this lie for Grace
Ooh,
Park?
this is one ugly lie right here, Roger. 107 yards, but you know, this is where you have to choose, where do I want to hit my third shot from? Do I want the bunker shot? Do I want a little pitch shot to the right? Or do I have enough muscle to go ahead and come into it at a steep angle and I can elevate it maybe 35, 40 feet past the hole?
Could she hit it just towards the right corner of the green and let it land short and take a jump up?
Well, I don't think that she's going to be able to catch any part of the green, Judy, simply because the wind is going that way. That is an option, yes, and then you're coming back up the hill. It certainly appears as though she's looking that way. I think I might take my chances 40 feet long if I could get enough club on it, but there's just so much guesswork out of this Bermuda grass.
Hold the club a little firmer. This young woman is very strong.
Well, the ball skipped through the bunker. It's in between the two greenside bunkers.
second shot of Kari Webb that was nearer the hole.
While we watch Grace, let us give a little nod to the young women golfers from the University of Miami who have been our spotters this week and done a wonderful job. Grace Park was a spotter for the ESPN crew at the Phoenix Open on a couple of occasions when she was still in school. And anyway, University of Miami coach Leela Cannon has been out here on a couple of days, and these young gals have done a great job for us.
And across the country, we're fortunate to have a lot of the college golfers helping us, as the bogey putt now for Emily Klein.
That was a costly one there, a double bogey here at the 18th, but I'll tell you, this 18th could make the difference in this last group coming up here, Roger.
Well, it's been the second most difficult hole this week, and always on Sunday. If the 18th has been the second most difficult, you can just imagine it's gonna be the most difficult for the final few groups.
Definitely playing much harder today than it's played all week because the wind is in the player's face and across where it hasn't been all week. This for double bogey.
So that'll drop her back to even par for the tournament and a final round of 3 over 75 for Emily Klein. Well, the toughest 3 holes by comparison, the PGA Tour, which will play here in March, this from their tournament last year, and then here with this LPGA event, Judy, after the 3rd round.
Well, this has been measured by strokes over par, or part of a stroke over par, in fact. The 13th hole was a hole that they had in common after 2 rounds, but a little bit easier now for the women on the weekend.
Now Karen Weiss has this putt for par to remain at 5 under in a final round of 3 under 69.
And it's a good solid 4-footer, and she needs to be firm with it. Just keep in the hole and be firm.
Well, in her effort to be firm, she was quick, pulled it.
She had a lot of opportunities on this backside, Judy. She had it inside of 15 feet about 4 different times.
Karen Weiss, who shot a 5 under 67 yesterday, which one of the 2 low rounds of the tournament, with the bogey at 18 and a final round 2 under 70. She drops back to 4 under as Grace Park leads by 1. Grace Park, our leader, her 3rd at 17.
And Grace with the sand wedge. Pretty good with this club, likes to use it around the greens a lot. Boy, once it hits the green, it's just down, green, downwind from there.
And good effort right there. So Grace will have that for her par to remain at 6 under. Now Bill, Kari Webb, her 3rd.
And Roger, she's opted to use the putter, and that's the right play from here. Should have got a pretty good idea what this is going to do after watching Grace in her shot, but this all dependent on how it comes out of the fringe. It looked like it came out pretty good.
Very nice indeed. So a couple of par putts remaining. Webb 1 shot back of our leader Grace Park, and a little bit earlier the other member of this group, Michelle Redmond, with her 3rd.
Yeah, this was really a clever little shot right here. Just kind of nudged it down. Had plenty of spin on it.
Michelle Redmond 1 over on her round today, 2 back of our leader Grace Park, as she takes a look now at this putt for par.
And Roger, she's got it just a little downhill, grain moving right to left, so you know, she just puts it right on the corner with just a fraction of speed behind it. I think that's the right line.
Talked to Michelle yesterday. She makes her home up in Minneapolis. Said she likes the nonstop flights out of there. Came down in December, worked on her game in Orlando.
You thought there might be a warmer climate where you could find nonstop flights.
Yeah, I thought maybe you could. Oh, goodness. Just on the right side, so.
She's a very precise player. She works hard. She understands her own golf swing pretty well, and I would expect her to have a very good year.
Go to 18, second shot for Meg Mallon with a fairway medal. It's a very
Pretty
strong,
aggressive,
yeah, very
brave
strong,
shot,
aggressive
that's
shot
right.
there, huh? Now for bogey, Michelle Redmond back at 17. So Michelle will drop back to 3 under for the tournament, 2 over on this final round. Found the fairway bunker with the tee shot, caught the lip of the bunker with her second shot. Second shot for Laura Diaz at 18. 3 over today, 1 under for the tournament.
Roger, that was from about 175 yards. She's got the right length. Right club, but just about 30 feet off to the right.
Laura's been one of the longest hitters off the tee this week here at the Blue Monster at Doral. As we move back to 17, our leader Grace Park, and this for par. Round it in.
Boy, that's a big putt. To go to the 18th hole with 1 shot on Kari Webb could be very important.
So Grace Park, a winner in her rookie year down in the Myrtle Beach area. The CathyIrelandGreens.com last year also had a runner-up finish. But you know what's been impressive about Grace in her brief career, Judy, in the last 2 U.S. Opens, top 10 finishes, tie for 8th in '99, tie for 6th last year.
You have to like her when the golf course is very tough, very difficult. When you get elevated greens and when the high iron shot is really called for, she should shine.
Kari Webb for her par to remain 1 back, and she does. So we'll go to 18. And Grace Park has a 1-shot lead over Kari Webb in the final round of the Office Depot. Welcome back to South Florida. Our final round coverage here on ESPN of the Office Depot. Top prize of $123,750. And Grace Park, second-year player with a 1-shot advantage over Kari Webb, as we'll go to the green at 18. 385-yard par 4. That's produced so many exciting results through the years.
Roger, this putt's a tough one. It's a downhill putt, very, very quick. Tough to judge the speed because you're putting right back into the green. And Judy, you commented on her putting stroke earlier in the day about what a nice fluid putting stroke it is, and I would have to agree with you. Nice rhythm in it.
Yeah, what I like is she's not afraid to have a little length to the stroke. She doesn't get short and quick and kind of punch the ball, and as a result, she should have a wonderful touch.
Asking for it to go. That's the green that just holds it up there, but she's about just about 3 feet for her par.
Laura Diaz opened up with a 67, 74 on Friday, 69 Saturday. Took the top 80 players off the money list for this Office Depot 2-day Pro-Am on Thursday and Friday on the blue and the red course. Finish up here at the Blue Monster on the weekend as we go to the tee at 18 and Kari Webb.
And Roger, this is where she can start applying the pressure. Good drive right here.
Doesn't ground the driver. She holds it just up, and it gives her great rhythm.
Boy, she has just blistered this, just short of that bunker.
And that's a good angle to come into this whole location at 18, Judy, as we take a look at this 385-yard par 4.
Well, playing from the front of that back tee that you just saw, the bunker at the right, about 255 yards off the tee. The wind is sweeping across from the water today. If you find a spot in the fairway, the hole is located in the back left, and just imagine how tough that second shot is.
Our leader, Grace Park.
Well, I would certainly think that she's looking a little further right than she has the previous 2 days.
Wow.
And this is huge right here.
Water didn't bother her, did it, Bill?
Absolutely not.
No.
Just took it right at it, Raj, turned it right into it. You couldn't walk it out there any better than what that one is.
She is just a solid player with a real good short game Judy, you said her putting every once in a while gets a little spotty, but boy, what a bright future Grace Park has. A one-shot lead as we move to 18, and Meg Mallon, her third. Big sweep from left to right. And we go back to Michelle Redmond on the tee. And
Hey, come on, please.
She's a very deliberate backswing and able to stop it at will, apparently.
Well, a little crowd noise over the crowd. I'm still talking about the two drives I just saw. Judy, I think that Michelle has to take this. There's a little bit of a strip of fairway to the right side of the water. I don't think there's any possible way she can even challenge the water on the left-hand side.
Very tough tee shot for her, because when she loses a shot, she loses it to the right, and you really cannot afford to get in the right rough or anywhere around the tree line.
Well, she has set this, and it's at the water. It's carried the water. I don't know if it's in the bunker or not.
It's in the bunker, Bill. It kicked into the face of that bunker and came back. We can't tell exactly how far, just a couple of feet.
It is near the edge and may not allow her a shot at the green.
Always smiling, Grace Park, a one-shot lead.
She won the U.S. Amateur in 1998. She beat Jenny Chasiraporn in the year that Seri Pak beat Jenny Chasiraporn for the U.S. Open title, as we watched Laura Diaz finish this 72 holes.
That's a par putt for Laura, who finished the tournament at 1 under, a 3 over 75 to finish up this final round here at Doral. And coming your way, women's NCAA basketball rivalry week presented by New York Life. Top-ranked Connecticut, second-ranked Tennessee. It's Thursday, February 1st, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time from Knoxville Arena. A rematch, UConn defeated Tennessee 81-76 on December the 30th. So they'll go head-to-head once again. For more information, of course, log on to ESPN.com. Women's college basketball on ESPN, and our leader, Grace Park, at 6 under, leads Kari Webb by 1 as they head to the fairway at 18. And welcome back here to Doral, final round of the Office Depot, and our leader, Grace Park, by 1 over Kari Webb. Both players 1 under in this final round here at the Blue Monster. We saw her last year, Judy, win the KathyIrelandGreens.com and pulled off some very creative shots toward the end of that round, and was battling with Julie Inkster, a seasoned veteran, but held herself together and came away with a victory.
You know, she did have that victory, but I'm not sure that the 2000 season was really representative of how good Grace Park is, because she really did struggle through this bad rib injury, a muscle problem throughout the year. She missed a good bit of the year, and everybody said, well, Grace Park didn't get off to the professional start that, you know, everybody really thought she would, because she is such a talent. But I don't know if you should measure her by last year.
Bill, what about the wind out there at 18 right now?
I'll tell you, I mean...
Well, it's certainly blowing hard left to right over that water. In fact, the fountain out in the middle of the lake, I'm getting sprayed over here on the right side of the fairway, so that gives you an indication as to how hard it is blowing.
The only play you can take onward is try to go to the front right portion of the game, go over the strap back hitting the fairway there.
Oh, Michelle Redmond looking over her situation.
Well, Roger, I took a look at it. She's got 171 yards. Actually, I don't think it's worth it for her to go for it. You know, if you look at the leaderboard and you look at the 3 unders and 2 under, you could spend a pretty good amount of change right here with one little slip in the sand trap.
She has to make sure that she makes 5. I mean, 4 would be great, but she cannot make worse than 5 or she will spend a lot of money.
I totally agree. And actually, being up against the side of the bunker like that, Judy, you know, she's going to have to take this at the flag and try to hit some kind of cut shot out of it.
Yeah, otherwise, you know, if she took it at the middle of the green, she would have to get it up so fast that she couldn't hit enough club to hit it that far.
And if you look back on 17, when she hit the lip of the bunker coming out of that, I thought she was far enough back that she could get it out easily.
You know, she just might make 4 the hard way, pitch it out and try to hit a wedge close.
Well, right now, let's check in with Mary Bryant, who caught up with some folks a little bit earlier. Mary?
Office Depot has not only held the LPGA tournament here at Doral this week, but they've been very involved with businesswomen from around the world. And on my left, Cynthia Cohen, who's on the board of directors of Office Depot. Cynthia, tell us about Office Depot's involvement.
Well, Office Depot is very committed to both women in business in corporate America as well as women business owners. And this year, we're very proud to have sponsored our first ever Success Strategies Conference for business women. And that was particularly meaningful because we married it up with the leading women's athletic organization in the world, which you know is the LPGA, Mary.
And what a great combination that is. And on my right, Sandy Adams. And Sandy, you tell us about your involvement this week with the women in business.
Well, the National Association of Women Business Owners has enjoyed partnering with Office Depot for a long time. They've been a major sponsor of ours. And coming together for this event where we put the organizations together under one roof to educate us and to network together was a wonderful event.
Well, what a great week for Office Depot, the LPGA, and businesswomen all over the United States.
And Michelle Redmond playing her second at 18, just getting it, Bill, out of that bunker.
And that was a smart play. Judy said you don't want to put 6 into the equation, and you know, who knows, maybe she'll hit a third shot and freeze it up there and be pretty happy.
Well, Grace Park, our leader.
161 yards. Certainly has to be looking towards the center of the green. Anything left of the flag, I would certainly think it's a pull. Now she's hit this high and solid, and I don't think that she's going to be too dissatisfied with that.
I'll tell you, Bill, that's as good as we've seen here today at 18.
That had to be exactly where she was looking. I would say that if I was to ask her, she hit that within the 3-foot circle she was aiming at.
It's pretty good, wasn't it, Judy?
I'm just sitting here thinking how good it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the golf swing had the smoothness and the rhythm of one on Tuesday afternoon.
Judy, I'm right with you. I'm standing up here by the green. She's only about 20 feet from the hole.
Kari Webb trails by 1.
Has no choice but to go with the flag now. All of a sudden, there's been a little gust of wind. She's going to have to nail this. Well, watch out if this is the right one.
She's giving herself a chance.
Well, she struck it well. Had she hit it 3 or 4 more yards, it's right up against the hole.
So both Grace Park and Kari Webb on the green at 18. Grace Park taking the walk up to the green at 18 with a 1-shot lead over Kari Webb. And I'll tell you, Judy hit a solid tee shot, stood right up there, and hit maybe an even better second shot into the green here at 18 at the Blue Monster.
I'll tell you, the name suits her. Grace is graceful, Grace is strong, Grace is everything that we imagine a modern day female athlete to be.
No more than 100.
Go back out in the fairway. And Michelle Redmond getting set for her third.
That'd be nice if she could get this up and in. Even if she doesn't, I think she still gets a top 10. Right at 121 yards to the flag. There's a little bit of ridge right where Kari Webb's ball is. She has to carry that. Anything short of that little ridge right there is going to stop short of the hole.
Well, Billy, we're right behind her, and we can actually see the ridge in the green. We can see where Kari's ball has come to rest, and a really good view of what you're talking about.
Come left.
Kept it nice and low. But there's the ridge. You hit into it, but safe shot.
Years old and a very big day at Doral.
Grace Park leads Kari Webb by 1. We'll be back to Doral in just a moment. Welcome back here to the final round of the Office Depot. Exciting finish with Grace Park, one of the outstanding young players on the LPGA Tour, and of course Kari Webb, who has really dominated the tour the past couple of years. Both players birdie putts at 18, but first Michelle Redmond, the other member of the group, this for par. Michelle 3 under for the tournament. 2 over in this final round, coming off a bogey at 17, and she'll have that left for bogey at 18.
Well, I don't know how much Kari Webb would have learned about the line from that putt, but certainly she had a sense of the way the ball rolls and a little bit of speed.
Well, Judy, I think, you know, the last third of the putt, I think she got a pretty good indication as to what it's going to do. A lot of times down in Florida or the South, you think that, you know, you see water left, you see a little slope to your left, it's going to go huge left. Well, this is going to go left at the end, but this ridge might affect it right at the beginning.
Yeah, well, she just gave her caddy the thumbs to the right, as though it will go right before it goes left.
Exactly.
You know, as much as Kari Webb, Judy, has won over the past few years, Grace Park in her own right, as a junior college amateur, has won over 50 times, and one victory on the LPGA Tour is many short of the 23 that Kari Webb has, but Grace Park is not unfamiliar to success in golf.
Oh, you are right, but I think if she has success today over Kari Webb, playing alongside on a very challenging golf course, a golf course that everyone knows is one of the better courses for competition in this country, that is going to be a huge boost to Grace Park for the rest of this season and for her career. Kari would love to slow her down right here, though, and roll this one in.
Well, Judy and Roger, you look at this backside that Kari Webb has played, and really she's pretty much due to make a putt. Really hadn't had anything drop for her on the backside, nor all week for that fact.
Now, Bill, you're absolutely right. 30 putts yesterday, 30 putts on Friday. This for birdie and a share of the lead at 6 under.
Well, expect a run. As much as she might like to be second if she doesn't win, I don't think that's an important thing.
And once again, Judy, that putt lacked a lot of pace.
So Kari for her par, and Kari Webb, final round 1 under 71, and at 5 under stands alone in second place, and unless something disastrous happens to Grace Park, Kari Webb will finish in the runner-up spot, Judy, for the 2nd week in a row.
Kari Webb is going to go on and play the 2 tournaments in Hawaii last year. This time of year she was taking a pretty big break, but she's going to play right through and then go to her home country of Australia and play a couple of tournaments down there, including the Women's Australian Open.
So Billy, Grace just needs a couple of putts here to wrap this up.
That's exactly right, Roger, and you know, right in the 20-foot range. And you know, there's a good thing about this golf course here at Doral. You know, a lot of the greens, even though it's a very tough golf course, a lot of the greens are pretty flat. So she certainly doesn't have to deal with a lot of undulation with where she put it on this green. So not a real speedy putt, just 2 putts for the win.
Talked about Grace's terrific amateur career, won the Trans Amateur, the Western Amateur, the U.S. Amateur, first player since Patty Berg in '38 to sweep all major amateur championships. So Grace will have that putt for her second LPGA victory.
And she might have liked that putt to be just 3 or 4 inches shorter, but she has rolled it well all day. Never easy to snuggle that one up close when all you need are the 2 putts.
Now Michelle Redmond finish up this for bogey.
Actually, Raj, I thought she lagged it up a little bit closer. This is at a little testing length, right in that 3-foot area.
Oh, goodness.
She is trying to finish out and let Grace Park have the stage, but you're a little rattled at this point. You know that you have really changed your position in the tournament, and very frustrated, you know, with your final hole after a good, long, hard week.
Now this one for double bogey now. So Michelle Redmond very disappointed in the finish here. And that leaves this work left for Grace Park. This putt for par and to win the Office Depot. There you go. Grace Park, the winner by 1 over Kari Webb. A final round, 1 under, 71. Billy?
Thanks, Raj. Grace, congratulations. Great win. More nervous on the tee shot or the second shot here on 18?
Both. And the last putt, too. I was a little nervous, but I won.
We'll make sure that scorecard's right, and we'll talk to you in a little while.
Okay.
Grace Park, her second LPGA victory. A winner by 1 over Kari Webb at the Office Depot. And we'll be back with more from Doral right after this. Welcome back to Doral. Grace Park, a winner over Kari Webb by 1. Time now for our Ritz shot of the day, and it was a beauty. It was a par 3. Michelle Estel. Let the folks guess what happened here. That's good.
They're guessing what it would be like to pull their shot.
I want to tell you how good that was. That was the second hole-in-one in 2 weeks for Michelle Estel, and that's why she's dancing. Probably still dancing.
Good reason to dance.
That's the Ritz shot of the day. And of course, for all you folks out there that want to log on, go right to LPGA.com. Get all the latest news and information from the LPGA Tour and the world of golf. And when you go to LPGA.com, you can not judge Judy, but our Judy. You can ask a question of.
Thank you.
Sometimes she's judge and jury, but the question is, Judy, who do you think will be the next Solheim Cup captain?
I'm trying to break that habit, by the way.
Of being captain on the Solheim Cup team?
No, I'm trying to break that habit of, you know, the judge and jury thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
All
that
right.
sounds too good. The next Solheim Cup captain will be announced at the Standard Register Ping in March. I guess I'm not really in a position to tell you who that might be because I'm one of the people as a former captain that has a vote. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. In March, we'll be there on
Yes.
ESPN at the Standard Register Ping from Moon Valley. We'll find out who the Solheim Cup captain is. We know this, Grace Park won her second LPGA event today. ESPN's final round coverage of the LPGA Tour's The Office Depot has been brought to you by Office Depot. Nobody in the world sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Shell. Count on Shell to keep you going.
Thank you, Roger. I'm here with our champion, Grace Park, but I have a couple gentlemen to my left. First of all, we have a couple of presentations. To my immediate left, CEO of Office Depot, Bruce Nelson, and I believe you have some money for our champion.
I certainly do. Grace, on behalf of all of our friends at Office Depot, congratulations on an outstanding tournament. You're an excellent player. I credit your profession. Congratulations. We're happy to give this to you. Thank you.
Great. And now Chris Higgs, president of Executive Sports International. I believe you have a little hardware for our champion.
I do. Thanks, Bill. This couldn't be done without the support of two good partners, Office Depot. Bruce, thanks for all your help. Joel Page, the president of Doral Resort, and our volunteers from Palm Beach, Martin, Broward, and Dade County. We couldn't do it without their help. And our tournament staff, Tom and his group, thank you. So, Grace, on behalf of all of those people, it's my pleasure to present to you our Waterford Trophy Crystal and our Champions Trophy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Grace, great way to start the year 2001. Quick start. Keep it going. Roger, back to you.
All right, Billy, thank you very much. Grace Park's second LPGA Tour win. For Judy Rankin, Mary Bryan, and Bill Kratzert, I'm Roger Twybo. Thanks so much for being with us from Miami. Grace Park, your winner.